Mohg is one of the most tragic characters in Elden Ring. Just like his brother Morcott, he was thrown inside the sewers and locked away by their mother America. And when the Shattering began, they both broke free and went their separate ways. Morgott would go defend the Erdtree, and Mohg would start his own dynasty. Finally being free of the ones who restrained him in the first place. However, tragedy would strike Mohg yet again, as for the kindly Miquella would put him under enchantment, and use him to further his ambitions. This ultimately leads to Mohg dying. But what if we use the power of making this video and made it where Mohg can get his revenge on Miquella? What if we decided to pull the ultimate trump card and made it where Mohg somehow lived on? Can I beat Shadow the Erdtree as Mohg? Our journey begins inside the realm of Shadow. We thought we had just died. We thought it was all over for us. However, it seems that it is not, and that we are inside of a new body. Definitely one not of my own. Could this be what I look like if I didn't have my omen curse? We try not to think about it for too long, and start looking for Miquella. We then meet some people also underneath the influence of Miquella's charm, including our great soldier, Ansbog. We initially thought about telling him that we are Mohg, but we did not want to blow our cover just yet. He asked us to look for more crosses, and let him know if we find anything interesting. So we head around all the way to the Shadow Altus, and take a lift all the way up to a cross that has Miquella's eye, and then we bring it back to him.
I am much obliged. I can hardly believe it. He's divested himself of his very eye. Tender Miquella's eye is no mere morsel of flesh. It is a vessel of soaring grace, proof of his Empyrean lineage. I wonder, does Miquella the Kind intend to sever his very birthright, his fate as a child of the Erdtree?
After that, we parkour our way into the Cairn Castle from the mountain above, and make our way to R'lyeh. She did kill me twice, and almost a third time. However, we managed to pull through on that third attempt, and defeat her. Since we're starting to take care of bosses, might as well head over to the Dancing Lion and challenge him to a fight. In which case, we would defeat him on our first attempt, which will allow us to get the Divine Beast head, allowing us to talk to this nice old lady.
Oh, such a joy to smell the scent again. Does a sculpted keeper stand for me? Oh, as I felt the sacred beast's essence fade, a great anxiety welled up within. Forgive this old woman her foolish fears. 'Tis such relief I cannot express. After an eternity of the mind, our voices have at last reached the heavens, as evinced by thy gracious arrival. Oh, oh, oh. I implore, vessel of the sacred beast, have my son accompany thee to war, and dance thy dance of beauteous color. Take vengeance upon Mesmerity's lot. They who betrayed us, aye, they who burned us, let them face in thy wrath their just deserts. My song will I sing, in service to thee. Oh, sculpted keep, channel thy color into the most resplendent of dances. My song will I sing, in service to thee. O horn-decked beast from higher sphere delivered, we beg of thee to sends away the strumpet's vile progeny.
We'll challenge Dryleaf Dang to a fight, and because he's not running the crystal tier in his flask, he gets destroyed by my blood boom. Shortly after that, we reach Bonnie Village and see lots of pots everywhere, reminding us of what our mother does with these giant pots. Clearly there's no resemblance at all. Before we think about it too hard, this happens. With Miklah's great rune, along with his powerful charm destroyed, it might be the best idea to get Asbug back on my side. However, convincing him that I am mohg would be extremely difficult still. As far as he knows, I am just a simple tarnished cosplayer who was infatuated with mohg. I'll need something extra sturdy, extra powerful to convince him that I am mohg. And what a good item would be if I found Miklah's great rune itself, or at least what remains of it. So we make our way over to the base of the shadow tree. Upon approaching this giant flower, it comes alive and starts attacking us. Now, this shadow tree avatar defeated me once, but we stay underneath him and heal, cutting it a bit close, but we were able to defeat him on our second attempt, and gain Miklah's great rune. Before we can reach Asbug, we are stopped by Tolier. With the charm now removed from him, he reveals his true feelings about our current clothing and weapon. He says, "How dare you have the set of mohg? Are you not aware of the mohglester, the allegations, everything against mohg, and yet you are a fan, using his exact clothing and weapons? You make me sick." Before we can respond, he says, "You must have a dark secret of your own. Stay away from everyone. Stay away from Miklah the Kind." Before he leaves, the words of Tolier hit deep within us. There were so many things that he didn't know, and so many things that were manipulated in Miklah's favor. As we start making our way back to Asbug, we see our jar friend, who gets our attention, completely saddened that the charm of Miklah destroyed, and that he remembers his mother, the one who has abandoned them. He pleads to us, saying, "What should we do? Should we remain sad forever?" And in a controlled burst of anger, we tell him to remain sad as we continue our way back to Asbug. To release some stress, we go ahead and kill the golden hippopotamus and kill the hornset with Letta. We then finally catch up with Asbug. We show him Miklah's great rune, and at the same time telling him that we are mohg, somehow reincarnated, somehow alive. He has a hard time wrapping his head around everything. But upon telling him his favorite blood magic, his blood blade from his left hand, it is reassured in his mind that we are mohg. And before he can kneel down and say "my lord," we are interrupted by Letta, who has been spying on me this whole time, slightly aware of what I actually was. Somehow, she knew my intentions, and she's here to try to put a stop to it all. But with me and my proud knight, we defeat her quite easily. She should have brought someone back her up. With Letta now defeated, we asked Asbug if there was anyone else that we can try to commit to our side. And to our complete hatred, he suggests that we should get Tolier on our side. I ask him why him specifically, and he tells me that he is loyal to Saint Trina. But from what everything has been told, Mikola threw away Saint Trina, so she might have a vendetta against him, and a common goal for both of us. With a heavy sigh, we are looking for Tellier. But we forgot which way we came in and ended up getting lost inside this giant castle, eventually making our way to the ancient ruins. And after dodging a flaming Kamehameha from a furnace golem, we make our way to Ramita, Saint of the Bud, who was defeated on our first attempt. Honestly, this boss deserves so much more. It needs more health and stuff. Come on, FromSoft. We go behind the church, and we find a dark tree. We try to burn it away, but unfortunately it requires the kindling of Mesmer. We then make our way back to the library and try a different path, which will lead us to Commander Gaius. Honestly, I thought he'd be a massive hurdle inside this run, but he wasn't too bad this time around. He was able to get me twice, one of them being my own undoing. But besides that, it wasn't too bad. We eventually make it out of the castle and see our pop bro, unfortunately, has passed on in the embrace of a kindred of rot. Was this what he secretly was? Is this why he's hugging it? I do feel a little bit of guilt for telling him to remain sad. It was not my intention. I was angry, and I do apologize. The flowers all around start turning blue as we run past them all. We eventually make our way to a giant hole in the ground, descending it all, and finding a cross of Mikola, stating that here he abandons his love. We continue our way down, and fall down from a massive cliffside, letting in some purplish water. And as there we see Tellier fighting the percusant knight. Even though he's not happy about our outfit and us dressing up as the mohg, he is perfectly happy with us giving him some assistance. For some odd reason, this guy was much harder this time around. He ended up getting me quite a few times. I guess I must have been rusty or something. But with all that said, we pulled through and defeated him. We then make our way down to St. Trina and see Tellier next to her. We talk to him, and even though he is grateful for us assisting him, he still can't shake the feeling that there's something off about us. Why are we dressed as mohg? And why are we such a big fan of him? He asks us to leave him alone. Let him slumber with Saint Trina. We then approach Saint Trina and take some of her nectar and drink it, allowing us to hear her voice. She tells us that she knows who we are, and that she is deeply sorry for the false love Mikola has given us, for the brainwashing and the complete manipulation of our very free will. She apologizes for all the accusations against us set on by Mikola, all the memes, and every single mean thing everyone has said to me. We are not the mohg. We were the Mick-lested. She tells us to take Mikola to court, use this evidence, and free my name. Free myself of these accusations. And that Tellier would be a witness to all this. She asks us to tell him. Make sure he hears this. Doing what Trina wishes, we go ahead and pass on these words. Tellier, in complete disbelief, is upset with us, saying, why would she tell you such a thing? and that we are completely lying to him. And why would we even care? Mohg is dead. We then reveal to him that we are Mohg, somehow resurrected and somehow alive. He says, no, you cannot be. The Mohg Lester, you've done everything to Mikola. You deserve death. You do not deserve reincarnation. He swears that he will hunt us down and make us pay for these lies that we have told him.
I will never forgive you. For your trespass, you will know my poison.
Give me such strength, but for what? You. I was no good to anyone. Beginning to end. Weak as a kitten, and thick as two planks. I suppose dying in disgrace is fitting, in a way. Tell me, please, assuming you spoke the truth back then. What did St. Trina tell you? You are a wretched soul. A nightmare come to plague me. Such a thing couldn't possibly be. Could it? St. Trina, please let me hear your voice in my everlasting slumber.
Beginning our wrapping up phase, we go ahead and make our way to Mesmer, who upon seeing us would feel some type of kinship between him and me. He says, mongrel intruder, thou has a familiar aura to mine. Possibly someone related, though thine grace is not shown within you, meaning my purpose is unchanged. Those stripped of gold will meet death in the embrace of Mesmer's flame. Luckily, we were able to get him down to his second phase on our first attempt. However, due to me being risky, he was able to get me before we could finish him off. Hopping back in from our second round, we learned from our mistakes and to deal with them pretty easily. We'll go ahead and get the two Goth sisters as our spirit ash, burn away the shadow from the tower, and make our way through the nice horned people, all the way up to Letta. She says, come to kidnap Mikola again, Moglesta. Does your dirtiness know no bounds? Mikola the Kind is presenting his evidence, and you will soon be sentenced to life imprisonment. You will not see the light of day. Me and Dragleaf Dang will ensure that you do not present your evidence, and we will act as jury and executioner. We summon our two Goth girls. These two will be acting as my lawyers throughout this entire court case. Shortly after, though, Dragleaf Dang approaches and starts presenting his evidence, and our lawyers start fighting against him. Occasionally, I would chime in with additional evidence of my own. A bit afterwards, Letta would join in the fray, presenting her evidence. However, Ansbach would join in, countering it with his evidence. He also states that he is here in the dignity of his lord, that he will not let me handle this all alone. We then eventually beat Dragleaf Dang in his accusations, only leaving Letta. We unfortunately lost one of our lawyers. Shortly after, though, Tellier appears, stating that he is sorry for the memes that he's made of us, and that he will no longer be making them. Instead, he will be making memes about the McLester, and how we were the victim of the wrong, showing his evidence from St. Trina, and we end up losing the second lawyer shortly after. But in the end, we are able to beat the accusations and win the court case against Letta. Before we get to Mikla, there's one final boss we need to get to, and I'm sure you all know which one it is at this current moment. Now, join me in Econ in the best line spoken in FromSoft history. Curse you, Baal! Take it away, Egon.
I hereby vow you will prove this day. Behold, a true great warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh. Solid as scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons! With every last drop of my being! Baal the Dread! You shall haunt me no longer!
Speaking of haunting, it is time to get rid of the person haunting us. When we get there, we don't see Mikla at all. Instead, we see Radon, somehow resurrected, and somehow in a new body. It has horns coming out of it. Could it be my body? Before we have time to think about it, Radon charges at us, and the fight commences. We're lucky enough to get him down in the second phase on our first attempt, making where Mikla comes out. And he promises us infinite love. He promises so many things that he would not fulfill. He was planning on manipulating us yet again, but we refused. And using the power of his great rune, we are able to break free from this enchantment. Mikla, now completely upset, orders Radon to attack us. We died over and over and over, again and again and again. The amount of deaths I'm showing on screen isn't even a fraction of how many times I've thrown myself at this boss and died. Am I forever doomed to have people help me out in defeating Radon? As if we were blessed by the goddess of luck herself, Radon got stuck inside the stomping animation, making where he didn't go up to the sky and launch down upon us like a meteor. This was extremely lucky, and something that I don't even know how it's even possible. But in the end, I will take this victory. And yes, I will say, I have finally defeated Radon without the help of other players. With Radon defeated, Mikla pleads to us, begging us not to do it. But he knew this was coming. We take Mikla to the authorities, and he's locked away for the rest of his days. We then return home and get rid of the big egg inside my palace. Finally, I am free of the allegations. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, please help it out by leaving a like, comment, subscribe. As usual, I'm going to be showing out the build, and let me know what you guys think about it. I did have to change it up a little bit at the end there, just to help out with the main things. Anyways, without further ado, goodbye everyone.